Okay, so welcome to the video series number 3. When it comes to the Corona times, we have to do this workshop online series. So the next one we're going to focus on is going to be the third one, which is going to be the unwrapping one. So as you can see here, I have a mesh that's made in low poly. Ooh, excuse me. However, the thing is I've gone and collapsed all the UVs inside, so we're going to go through the whole process to show you how you prepare a UV layout to export this outside of Blender and maybe using Substance Painter or even Unity itself. So go ahead and take these and these, not that one, this and this, hit H to hide them. So the first thing you're going to notice that all of the sections are sort of broken up into small pieces. This one right here, the leg, what I actually did, if you go to the modifiers, as you can see, I have a mirror modifier that I've added to this. And the reason for this is we're going to just go ahead and unwrap this one leg, and then we're going to use that same unwrap on the other one, and we're going to do the same for these two as well and such. So first thing we have to do is we're going to have to apply, go into the UV editing editor, which is right there, menu at the top. And we're going to have to apply material to this because as you can see when I select the chair, well, it's flattened to the side and we have to be able to see what we're doing. So I'm going to go to image right here and I'm going to say new. And then down here, let's say we're going to work with 248 by 248 because that's the size we want to work with. Next gen. And then right here in blank, you do a color grid. Then you hit OK. And as you can see now, it's expanded the area where the texture is going to be. In this color grid, what it's going to do is going to help us determine if we're unwrapping this to the right proportions and such. So now that we've done that, we need to go ahead and see that so we can go ahead and see it on the actual mesh itself. So you're going to go ahead and exit object mode. And then with this mesh on, you're going to go into, I believe, materials. Go ahead and select that. And as you can see, is this the material menu? Material properties. You're going to go ahead and add a new one. And then when it comes to the base color, you're going to do image texture. And then you can see those little drop menu right there. And then if you hit on title, that's the one for the UV grid that you just generated. So as you can see, it's applied. And the reason it's one color is because when you look at, I go to edit mode. Oh, sorry, get out of that. When I select that section and I go to edit mode, and then I select it all, as you can see, all the UVs are to the side, but we're going to go ahead and do something to fix that and actually map this entirely. So what we're going to do is go ahead and just wrap this section and then hide all the other sections. So I'm going to go ahead and go out of edit mode and go to object mode, and then all the pieces that I want to mess with, this one, H, and then keep that intact. So what are we going to do after that? And then after that, we're going to go back to edit mode, and then we're going to go to edges. And what we're going to do is we're going to paint all of the edge plate, all the seams in the mesh where whenever you bring it into the UV editor, that's going to give you the regions of where it's supposed to unwrap this mesh. So in this case, we want this whole front side of the leg to be as one thing. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Alt and start selecting all these edges I want to select. So I got that one, Alt. Let's see. For being able to see a little bit better, let's go ahead and turn off the material right here so you don't have to see the one that you've done. So Alt, Shift and Alt, Shift and Alt. Let me see, sorry. You know what, let's go ahead and just go to wireframe. That makes it just more easier. This one. You can see I'm selecting all those edges, so Alt and Shift, so click on that, click on that. On that, so as far as I can see, I have the whole outline selected, so I'm going to go ahead click mark seam. And as you can see by the orange, it's kind of give you the places where the seams are going to be marked off, so we have to do it for the rest. So right down at the bottom of this little leg right here, I'm going to go ahead and select shift, shift, and shift. Click this back one right here because you're going to need that as well. Go to the bottom, shift, 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 shift. That one as well. And then you go ahead and do mark seam. And let's see how we have. As you can see from the orange, let's see if we missed anywhere. Yeah, right here. So go ahead and alt click. Go ahead, go out of wireframe mode. So alt click that and make sure you have all of them selected, as you can see, like I did. And I go right here. Alt click that. Alt click that. Alt click, alt click. And then you do mark seam. Deselect to see if there's anywhere you miss, which I did, weirdly enough. Mark seam. Mark seam. Seam. And one more there. I don't know why this doesn't let me select it, but fuck it, we'll do it by hand. And it's the same for these. I don't know why it does that. Mark seam. And mark seam. So as you can see, I've gone in the mesh and chosen all the places where this mesh is going to be broken apart. So after I do that, go to X-ray mode, go to polys and select it all. And then you expand your window, not that way, or this way. And then when I do that, I go right here. And then if you do the shortcut U, as you can see, my whole UVs have been unwrapped. So you're gonna have to probably take these individual elements and start moving them around so they're not so close together, because if you put something in the UV space that's a little too close together, when you start to reduce the resolution size in the game engine, do the mid mapping, you're gonna have bleeding of your UVs into one to the other. So what I do is you go right here, it selects the whole element. So I select all of these, or it's supposed to. See if alt just works. No, sorry, is it that one? No. Oh, that's why I'm trying to do move. And then after you do that, you start to just separate them ever so slightly from each other. Make sure snap's turned off, because that'll have an effect. So I'm going to go ahead and take these. This one, as you can see, is a little separated. Put that a little bit inside and start to find some way to be able to pack your UV. So this, you see, now it finally works. Take that to the side. Take this one and move it to the side. So if you want to see what the effect is, if you go back to layout and you go to, weird. Let's see if there's something up with the material. Could be that. There you go. It's the wrong one. So as you can see now, you have the grid on the material. And you can tell from the size of it, that's going to have how much resolution is taken up on screen. So now that that is done, you go back to UV editing. You take this, and then you put it to the side because you're going to have to edit it together. And so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to, once you've done that and you've got your UVs 2 times, then you go back into edit mode, you go to object mode, turn off X-ray, and then I go to my modifier, and then I apply it. Whoops. Apply it. And now it's one mesh, and then when I go back to UV again, go to edit mode. If I do, I believe it's L where you pick one element. Fuck it, I'll just take it to this like this, and then turn on X-ray mode so I get all of it. And then if I go back here in the UVW window, take that one leg that's selected and take those. No, why does it? Should be working. That's weird because all of it is selected, or no, it's not. That's why X-ray mode is off. So if I go and select all of these, and then I hit U, go into this menu, and hit U. If I go and select all of it, as you can see now I have the second leg separated. So now they're unique, and the reason sometimes unique UVs, you need unique UVs is because sometimes in programs like Substance Painter it's not good to have overlapping. So in this case, I'm going to take these UVs and I'm going to pack with them a little bit better so they function a little bit nicer. So I'm going to take this one, move it to the side. This one, let's see, inside here because that's really not being used for anything useful. Take this. And see, for this stuff right here, I could probably take this one, kind of wedge it in here, and then take this one, wedge it in here, and then take these to the side, and to the side. Okay, so now that you've finished the legs, you keep that there. You're probably going to move the layout at some other way. So you go ahead and you go back into layout where your meshes are. And then you hit Alt-H to unhide everything else. And then let's go ahead and take this section right here, this one. Go into the materials. Let's try material 2. That appears to be it. You see the same purplish color. Let's hope that's the case. And then let's go ahead and hide the rest of this shit so we don't have to deal with it. So hide that, H, that, H, and then again, same principle as last time. We're going to go ahead and paint the seams on this. So we're going to go to edit mode, and then I'm going to go on edge and hit Alt to select the whole top of it, and then hold Shift to do the whole selection. You have to make sure you're thorough. So click there. There, and then let's go ahead and do mark seam. As you can see, I missed some of it, so click on that, mark seam, and do the bottom. And let's go ahead and do wireframe to make this easier, just so I don't drive myself crazy. C. As you can see, I missed some places, so I just have to click that. And this, and then you do mark seam. See, good. This one right here, mark seam. And then you're going to want to do some for those little mid sections. So probably try to pick a point right here where it's turning is not bad. Take that, mark seam, and then take some other ones that are a similar location. This one, and this one, and this one, then mark seam. Good. As you can see, I got all the places, so then I'm going to go ahead and go to object mode, X-ray, select the whole thing, go up here to UV editing, and then you hit U, and then voila. Select it all, and you take this and you're going to pull it to the side. And the reason you're going to pull it to the side is because you're going to take all these objects eventually, you're going to mesh them together, and then you're going to arrange them in a UV arrangement. So after we've done that, go ahead and take these, pull that out of the way, pull that out of the way. See, as you can see, I must have done some sort of mistake with my mesh, so I must have missed one place when it comes to those seams. So let's see where that is. Object mode, go to edit mode, deselect all, and as you can see, that probably is going to have an effect. So mark seam, this one, mark seam. And instead of having these big strips, well, you know, it doesn't really matter there, I suppose. And then, yeah, that's good. So you could just go back here and again and select your whole thing and just redo it one more time. So you just go X-ray mode turned on, select all, and then you hit U. And as you can see, it snaps it. And the reason I haven't scaled these yet is, and I always keep it to the same proportion, is because you like to keep it, before you start scaling, you make sure everything has been to the same proportion, because like that, if you start scaling one and then you don't get the other ones right, then you're going to have discrepancies in your UV resolution when you have your texture. So after I've done that, I've separated all these, save my file, and then I'm going to do the same for this one. And if we switch up and turn up the materials, let's see. See, as you can see, it's probably the wrong material here again, so I'm going to go here, and no, that's not it. See, and why is this not showing up? Ah, there you go. Just had to switch the texture. So as you can see now, they kind of, that's been flattened. Then we're going to do the same for this one. So again, go to your materials, this one, and then you do take this one right here, and we're going to do the same. So I'm going to go into edit mode, go ahead and get out of UV editing to make this easier on me. So I'm going to go ahead and go to edge mode, and then edges, and then alt. As you can see, I got most of it. Then I do mark seam. Go to the back, like that, and mark seam, good. It seems, I believe I got all of it, so I'm going to take this right here, that's a good point, also a good point, mark seam, and take this one, and that one, mark seam, cool. Good. So I'm going to select it all, UV editing, and I'm going to go and press U. And as you can see, they have been separated now. I pull those and put them to the top so they're nice and neat. And then finally, you're going to do these two right here. So on this occasion, I'm going to go to edit mode. And see, let's go ahead and hide these so they're not in the way. H. Cool. Cool, go to edit mode. And then I go to edit. That's a good 2. Go to edges, come no. 1, 2, and all this by holding Alt and Shift, and then you go and put mark seams. So as you can see, you've already set out the definition where the seams are going to be. Good, good, good. Then you go do the same for the other one. Let's see, it's kind of at the top. So Alt click and then Shift, Alt and Shift, and finally at the bottom, Alt and Shift, and then you do mark seam. Good. So then I'm going to select both of these right here. See, stupid invisible mode is not on. You go to the UV menu and then you hit U. As you can see now, take these and move them to the side. They have been unwrapped. Nice proportion. So the reason I had you guys put on that cube is because when we start put on that material is when we start scaling these, we need to have an idea to make sure the resolution is the same for all of them. So I'm going to go to object mode. As you can see, there's a discrepancy. And something's off with this one, so we're actually going to have to try this one again. Piss. So, edit mode. That. Really don't know why, but it's giving me, I really don't know why, but it's giving me some sort of weirdness, and it could be that something is not welded together. So let's go ahead and get out of that. Object mode. No, sorry. Edit mode. And then if I go to layout so I don't have to see that stuff, I'm going to go to edit mode, go to vertices, select them all. Select these legs, select them all. And hit M. Merge, and we have 124 tries at a distance. And that's what it was. There were some issues when it came to that. So again, now we select it all, open UV editing, and then hit U. And with any luck, yep, as you can see, the distortions are gone. So that's, you can see how you can fix issues like that. So we're going to go ahead and keep this mesh and have it be as the base size that we use for everything else. So we're going to go ahead and separate this to the side. And now we're going to have to unify all the elements together, so when we do the unwrap, we can see it all and place it all into one place. So I'm going to go back to layout and hit Alt H. And if I recall together, if I hit Control, I select two elements and I hit J, or Control J, yeah, there it is, Control J, it meshes it together. Then I select the legs, Shift, and then hit again Control J, and as you can see, now we have one mesh. So now we have to go and fix the UV layout. So if you go back to the UV layout, as you can see, we have it, it's all a mess all over the place. So the first thing we have to see is that, let's go ahead and, first thing that we can see is that these supports are a bit too small and they're taking too much resolution based on the number in this grid size. So we're going to go back into the UVW editing space. We're going to go find them, which is these right here. Select them. And then you are going to scale them. And as you can start to see, when you start to scale them, they start to match a little bit to how those are right there. So that's not enough. Let's keep going. Scale smaller, smaller. And about right there is the right proportion. So I'm going to take that section, and what you're going to be doing these is basically arranging them in an informal square. So after I have those, start building a square on this section right here. And where else do we have? Where are we missing? And then here it could be that we have some missing stuff. So if you go within this menu and you get Alt H, you can see all the missing stuff that was been put, which is one of the sections. So I'm going to take that one section, put it to the side like this. And then what you're going to have to do is, again, after you do that, you're going to have to start to arrange all of this stuff in a square. So that's where you'll have to do some moving around of some of the elements. So I'll take that, put it here, take this right here, move that a little bit downwards. And so basically what you're going to be doing after you arrange these all in a square, which you'll have to figure out yourself, you're going to take them, and then you're going to move it. And within that UVW space, you're going to scale your mesh within to that space. So I don't want this video to go too long, so it's kind of giving me an idea what the principle is. This part you're going to have to do yourself, so I'll show you the other mesh where I've done it before. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off that, and as you can see, this one right here, that's the one with the UV, proper UV unwrap. So if I go and hit Alt H, or go to edit mode here, and then you hit Alt H, as you can see, the whole mesh has been put. Let's see, I can turn this off maybe. Yeah, turn that off. And as you can see now, my whole mesh has been arranged within that one space. I could probably go a little bit tighter with this, but if you get a little bit tighter, like I said in some of the other videos, you start to have bit mapping issues. So the reason you have all these little gaps here and such is because all these pieces have been scaled to have the same resolution. So this back section doesn't take more resolution of the texture than this here, or any of the other places. So it's going to be one of these things that you're going to have to take some time to tweak. But then after you can see what this is done, and I have this, I could export this mesh. There's a way to export the layout in Unity, from Unity to bring it to Photoshop to use an overlay to paint over, or I could just take the chair itself, export it into Substance Painter, and you're already good to go. So that's the end of this video tutorial. I hope you kind of get the concept of what I'm saying, what you need to do. So remember, take and paint all your seams, unwrap all your pieces, make sure the resolution is the same throughout by having this grid material on the texture, fit it within the square, and then you have an asset that's ready to go to work in Substance Painter. Thank you very much, and goodbye.